This is the AM News. Let's get into the details right away. President John Dramani Mahama has stressed the need for African nations to harness domestic resources to reduce dependence on external financing. Delivering the keynote address at the Heads of State and Government Breakfast Dialogue at the AU Commission headquarters in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, President Mahama noted that the numerous challenges facing the continent, including a big financing gap of around $402 billion annually until 2030. He therefore called on African multilateral financial institutions to support Africa's economic transformation and the successful implementation of Agenda 2063. Presidential Affairs correspondent Maxwell Agwagwa tells us more in this report.
As a champion on African Union financial institutions, President Mahama hosted the event, which was a side meeting of the AU Summit. President Mahama highlighted the numerous challenges facing the continent, including a big financing gap of around $402 billion annually until 2030. To close this gap, President Mahama called for a holistic strategy that prioritizes domestic resource mobilization, strengthens tax systems, and curbs illicit financial flows. He said the creation of key African Union financial bodies, including the African Central Bank, African Investment Bank, African Monetary Fund, and Pan-African Stock Exchange, is expected to enhance investment and financial access across the continent. He urged African nations to expedite the establishment of these institutions and leverage their collective power to address Africa's financing and investment shortfalls.
Similarly, the African Monetary Fund, the AMF, supports macroeconomic stability, which is crucial for investor confidence. The African Investment Bank is also pivotal in funding infrastructure projects such as energy, transport, digital transformation, while the Pan-African Stock Exchange is envisaged to integrate capital markets, making it easier for businesses to raise capital and thereby enhancing liquidity, promoting intra-African investments, and providing alternative financing mechanisms for governments and the private sector. Ladies and gentlemen, progress is being made towards the establishment of this exchange, with the Commission and the African Security Exchanges Association working on the Exchanges Linkages project. This initiative also aims to enhance liquidity and facilitate capital mobilization across African nations. We encourage more African stock exchanges to join this important project. Undeniably, strong political will and effective policy coordination are going to be crucial for the successful implementation and overall impact of the African Union financial institutions. The Republic of Ghana continues to champion and advocate for member states to embark on due processes at the national levels to expedite the establishment of these institutions, recognizing their significance in promoting investment and financing our Agenda 2063.
The meeting was attended by high-ranking officials from various multilateral organizations, both within and beyond the continent, including the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala.
Now, all is set for the rerun of the Ashanti Region's Council of State representative after the initial exercise was disrupted by the violence. The Electoral Commission, in collaboration with the police, have changed the venue as a security measure following chaotic scenes that marred the first attempt. The election, meant to be to select a representative to advise the president, was halted as a disagreement among delegates escalated into clashes. Nanaya Ojima reports.
The counting of votes in the Council of State election in Ashanti Region last week halted after some thugs pounced on the Electoral Commission and tore apart ballot papers and other materials. The Ashanti NPP caucus in Parliament called for enhanced security for the rerun of polls. Vincent Eko Asifua Estafo MP.
The Ashanti Region Minister is the head of security in Ashanti Region. So if you have an election in your zone and the election is not able to come to a conclusion, then it's a cause to worry. And so we signaled that the elections cannot be held at the same venue. we should change it to the Central Police Station, because at that place, you have all the men in uniform to be able to protect the sanctity of the election.
Before the election, police met with the candidates, revising protocols for the election. The venue for the election has changed from the Regional Coordinating Council to the Prempeh Assembly Hall. Entourage of candidates have also been limited to 2 each from the 5 accepted for the earlier election. Vehicles are also restricted from entering the venue of the election. Joy News sources have revealed the electoral register used in the previous election will be maintained, contrary to speculations of a possible change. For Joy News, Nana Ojima, Kumasi.
Speaker of Parliament Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbane has assured health workers, particularly those involved in the fight against meningitis, of Parliament's commitment to supporting them in combating the disease. He stated that they were not expecting this outbreak, which he described as an enemy, emphasizing that they were actively addressing the issue and are determined to ensure the eradication of the disease. Now, the Upper West region has so far recorded 129 suspected cases of meningitis, 22 confirmed cases, and 16 deaths. Rafiq Salam tells us more.
Speaking shortly before he donated logistics for meningitis case management, valued at over 300,000 Ghana cedis, Speaker of Parliament Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbane commended medical personnel in the region for their immense contribution to combat the surge in cases of cerebrospinal meningitis, CSM, in the region.
There's none of us who is dozing off or sleeping. It is something that we believe we should start working to do away with forever. As they said, if it's changing its form, its nature, its size, and all the tricks unknown to man. If not, this is not the time we're expecting this onslaught. But here we are on a serious attack by the enemy. And so we'll do all we can to support you, the health workers in the region and in the sector. This is just the first. As we go back, we'll look for more.
Lawyer Paul Zun spoke of similar donation he had from the National Lottery Authority last week.
On behalf of the Health Directorate and the region, I received a sum of 100,000 Ghana cedis from the National Lottery Authority based on a request we had made after our meeting on the 10th to also assist financially in terms of how vehicles and other activities will be carried out.
Upper West Regional Director of Health Services, Dr. Damien Puwili, disclosed that the region has so far recorded 129 suspected cases of the disease, 22 confirmed cases with 16 deaths.
And so the health workers are doing their best to encourage early reporting. Those who reported early were treated successfully and discharged. And going forward, all who come in early, when you have not become unconscious, the chances are that with all this support coming, first from the Minister of Health and now from the Right Honorable Speaker, we're going to ensure that people do not die. Treatment will be quite effective and will be timely, as nobody is paying for the services.
Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
In other news, massive overflow from large soccerways has inundated public spaces and markets across the Tema metropolis, creating an unbearable stench. Concerned residents say the worsening situation has forced some shops to close in affected areas as they fear the leaks could trigger a cholera outbreak. James Eshen has more in this report.
The area surrounding the Tema Metropolitan Assembly is plagued by significant sanitation challenges, including clogged gutters, litter scattered between stores, and overflowing rubbish bins. These issues are creating a persistent and unpleasant smell, with one of the major spillovers posing serious health risk to local residents. Emmanuel, a taxi driver in the area, expressed concern over the health hazards posed by the situation, emphasizing the urgent need for action.
For the past week now, the switch having a problem, and we call upon the assembly to come see to it, but they couldn't. They couldn't come. So it's giving us a problem here. So many cents and all over. We can't stay around, we can't chop, we can't do anything at all. But it's not good at all. So we are calling upon the opinion leaders to come and help us. Oh, they will say that they will do it. That's any time they say they will do it. But a week now, we didn't hear any response from them again.
Several food vendors have also been severely impacted by these conditions as they struggle to maintain their businesses amid an unsanitary environment.
Market because BBC me by Friday no so enyumre no betu so omoye ba me ma de ntia master no entumi ntwa enyumre no ya betu se card na ho a Friday enyumre no be 4 o'clock ka but still no say minim se omo na omanye ni ye o se edwuma no na esusin omo enti na ma problem no gusu wo
affecting because because obi did 1 cent no bo fa no so a good way nti enya kran some painful esra mo mahwe na mo yeman oyo mo bi say den na ye ka fa ho ana na say etie mefu adwuma wo so mo mbeye omo abehye bo mo ntimi aye na mo so mo kwa ba mo kwa mo amba bio.
Richard, a local shop owner, shared that his business and those of his colleagues have been forced to shut down due to the worsening sanitation crisis.
Market not go on because people no pass here, they buy our thing. You see, my shop this say 2 weeks. I know they feel open them. You see, me too. I get 2 kids, but they want them. So he had give me. What I go chop say he have give me. So what he did with that? Yeah. I see the workers. They say they on top. They come. They work for the market. They credit for the market. They come. So maybe they say maybe from next week going they go reach here.
When they have too much, but almost 2 weeks. You can't remember market cry and sana yesati, but pounds on be my. Though when they have been sent so high, first connect pay 50 anymore. Don't buy no some and I feed and jam still ask you same thing. When you go to this side to the same thing, center to the same thing. The one my band there, the move me be my now one be my intentem.
Vendors and residents alike are calling for swift intervention from authorities to address the mounting challenges. For Joy News, James Ishen.
The demonstration school for the deaf in Mampong Kwapem is in dire need of machinery and other training tools for students. Originally established in 1967 to educate children with hearing impairment, the facility currently also caters for children with visual impairment and even those with both forms of disability. Headmaster of the school, Setumte Ametewo, told Joy News this requires comprehensive equipment to adequately train the students. Joy News says MFA Etiamwa Ali has more.
From a total of 39 students in 1967, the Demonstration School of the Deaf in Mampong Equiapim currently has a student population of over 570 students. More than half the number are females. The youngest, according to the headmaster, is 4 years and the oldest 39 years. Their peculiar situation naturally requires a lot more vocational training than the grammar education. Headmaster of the school, Mr. Setumte Ametewe, tells me a retooling is required to efficiently and adequately prepare the students.
Okay. Demonstration school for the deaf is basically for children with hearing impairment. But within that, we also have children who are deaf-blind. And so we take them from 4 years, we run them through basic school, They go into the JHS after the primary, and then they would graduate into mainstream secondary school or the vocational setup. So within the vocational setup, we have skilled areas where we would want them to learn certain skills. So we have hairdressing, seamstressing, tailoring, leatherworks, beads making, and we want to add now carpentry and masonry, which we are really working on. And so for me, one of the key things that I really would want us to support them with machinery for these various areas where the children are able to gain skills, such that when they leave school, they would be able to gain some skills on their own and be supportive of themselves.
The growing student population at the Kwapim School for the Deaf, according to Mr. Setumte, demands increased care and attention to ensure the institution's quality and sustainability. This requires the collective efforts of parents, teachers, community leaders, and organizations dedicated to supporting children with special needs. Unfortunately, Mr. Setumte notes with disappointment that many parents perceive their children at the school with less regard, leading to lack of parental involvement. He expresses concern over the negative mindset and general public attitude towards the students and urges society to adopt a more inclusive and supportive outlook.
I think that the mindset has been that everything should come from government for free. And so even though they would be able to even support in basic ones, they think that it must come from government. And so we should be able to work on that kind of mindset, because they themselves, the children are for them. And some also have the perception that if the children have a certain disability, then they don't mean anything. They can't do anything. They are not of any use. And so some of them will tell you that minkola na omo fine, me person omo go school we answer omo did them, which is not real.
As a fully residential facility, the school faces significant challenges with congestion. The limited space makes it difficult to accommodate the growing number of students, and maintaining existing infrastructure remains a pressing concern.
We have a serious congestion issue, but we have a block that is coming up which has been left for the past 15 years. It's been roofed, but it's a GET fund project that has been abandoned, and we've been trying to reach out to the offices to see how they could help us, but it's not been done. We would need washrooms to attach to the block. As it is now, the block has been roofed. We have one that has been connected and all of that, but we do not have washrooms for the place. So once we get washrooms, then it means that our children could move into decongest the others.
On the occasion of the 2025 International Day for Education, students from the Equiapim Technical School stepped in to support the school by applying skills acquired through their respective programs. They volunteered to refurbish the facility, painting dormitories and classroom walls, patching cracked floors, and addressing basic metalwork needs. Their efforts provided much-needed involvement to the learning environment, reinforcing the importance of community involvement in supporting inclusive education. Managers of the school believe a sustained public support for the school, both in cash and in kind, the development of children in the facility would be made much easier and more holistic to the total transformation of the society. My name is Samofa Ewenamatia Moeli, reporting for Joy News.
The Upper West Regional Office of the Ghana Tourism Authority celebrated National Chocolate Day by sharing chocolate gifts with hospitalized children at the Upper West Regional Hospital, promoting local cocoa consumption and bringing smiles to the young patients. Charity Ara Nayere, head of nursing at the Upper West Regional Hospital, noted that chocolates are not only a sweet treat, but also offer health benefits for boosting children's immune systems and brain functions. Joy News Upper West Regional correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from WA.
The Ghana Tourism Authority GTA, as part of its celebration of the National Chocolate Day, presented assorted items, including chocolate products, to the Upper West Regional Hospital to mitigate the suffering of some of its patients. The items included packs of bottled water, baby diapers, and chocolates. The National Chocolate Day initiative was instituted by the Ministry of Tourism in 2005, aimed to promote the health and nutritional benefits of cocoa as expression of love during Valentine's Day. Moses Indewuni Indeburi is the Upper West Regional Director of GTA.
We said we've chosen your place because we realize that you are taking care of children. And today being a very important day, the kids are not feeling very fine, and you have only left home and you are only taking good care of them. We say, okay, why not? The Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Arts, which is our mother agency, has sent us as Ghana Tourism Authority to come and show love to you by donating chocolate and other products so that you take care of the kids.
Head of nursing at the Upper West Regional Hospital, Charity Arenaire, spoke of the health benefits of the products to the children.
Chocolate has nutritional values which boost their brain functions. So when they are sick, instead of giving them sweets that are just sugary, we rather prefer that we give them chocolate to build their immunity and then boost their brain function. That is why we advise that we rather give chocolate to children rather than other non-nutritional foods. I recommend that chocolate should be given to children who are sick. Whether sick or not, they need chocolate, so we should always give them chocolate.
Naira was grateful to GTA, noting that the donation will help alleviate the suffering of some of the patients. The GTA team and the hospital management share the chocolates to patients at the pediatric ward and then move to the pediatric medicine room where hospitalized children receive the items. Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
Let's get into our business update now with Samuel Kojo-Brace.
Let's get into the business updates now. And partner at PwC Ghana, Abeku Jan Kwanzaa, has called for the urgent review of the current VAT system to encourage compliance. His comments follow a report by the Ministry of Finance on Ghana's value-added tax VAT system, which showed that many businesses above the threshold of the tax do not register. Speaking to Joy Business, Abeku Jan Kwanzaa said the current VAT structure is problematic, hence the need to revise it to rope in more businesses into the tax net.
Ghana's VAT system, without shying away from it, is problematic. I mean, it's a secret that is known to everybody. So I don't even know whether you need to call it a secret. Our VAT regime needs an urgent review, and therefore I wasn't surprised that our previous presidential candidates both called for a review of the VAT. The medium-term revenue strategy, which we are all looking at now, also calls for a quick review of the VAT. So the VAT ought to be looked at to encourage compliance and ensure that it is businesses that we want in the net, that is actually the businesses that we are finding in the net. Because I'm sure the revenue looks at the cost of collections, and they would not spend their time really going after small businesses, because that is not what VAT is actually meant to do. Otherwise, one would say, should we now go after those in traffic because the person may be reaching 200,000 a year? I don't think that is the effort that this nation wants to commit to those persons. So my call will be, let's ensure that a value that was 200,000 almost 10 years ago is not the same value today.
Executive of the Chamber of Telecommunications, Ken Asigbe, has emphasized the need for addressing the element contributing to high cost of data. According to him, reduction in data cost is not a problem, but the issue lies with the actual cost price involved. He made these remarks at the inauguration of the Interagency Data Pricing Committee at the Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations.
The cost of data in Ghana is among the cheapest. And so, but the reason why we as an industry think that we still can come down. If we come down and a lot more people are consuming it, it would be better for us. But what are the elements that are in it? My class 3 teacher told me that sales price is equal to cost price plus profit. But here, the profit itself is not the problem. The challenge is the cost price. If you can find a way of bringing the cost price down, all of that will go. The issues, most of our inputs are imported. So the issues of even the import taxes that, again, that are in dollars as well, are all of that. So I think, Mr. Minister, this is a great committee to bring. I'm sure we'll bring the roadmap. Some of the things we'll be able to implement. Some of them will be short term, some of them, So I think we'll all go with it. And the last one also is even for us as consumers, because the way we consume data contributes to the cost of it. The fact that we don't have most of our servers sitting here, and for basic services that we have to do, we don't use our internal system, but we have to go onto the international gateways. All of those things contribute to the cost of data.
That's it for Business Update on the AM News. Back to you, Sweetie Abochi.
Thank you, Samuel Kojo Brace, for bringing us Business Update. Now let's get into our news review segment, because it's a wrap for the AM News. And joining us for the news review segment is Matthew Bindam. He's Member of Parliament for Bandai, and of course Nanaya Achopim Jantwa, presidential staffer. They'll be joining us in a bit. Please stay with us.